Hey, welcome everybody to another fun evening here, Paranormal Chat on Las Vegas Foundation Radio.
What's up, guys?
So, just had to run back over to the firehouse to get here, and yeah, so but yeah, got that all squared away, and we're back and ready to go. So
busy.
Yeah, it seems like it right now. Just finishing off October, and then like like last week of keeping like crazy busy, and then it'll be calm down for a little while anyway.
Yeah, busy weekend ahead since we'll be at doing the whole Grand Rapids Comic-Con thing.
Yep, yeah, take it off up there on Thursday and then come back on Monday. So I'm just hoping, fingers crossed, that the snow is not coming. I keep watching the radar and looking at all that stuff, and it's like, oh man, it's supposed to maybe snow.
It really? I haven't been looking, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's like 70% chance on Sunday of snow showers, and 40% chance of a snow mix on Monday when I come back. So yeah, so I've been in constant contact with those guys, and they're like, let us know if you have to cancel. I'm like, well, I'm not making that decision yet, but I gotta look at tomorrow real close and see what it looks like. And going up's not a problem. It's just coming back. That's what I look at. Yeah. And I know once before they said something to me about, I said, hey, we'll rent you an enclosed trailer. I'm like, I still got to pull that thing back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like you still got to drive. I mean, to get it there and then get it back home. So,
but we're going to see. It's not looking too bad on Monday. So going up, not a problem. Monday's the only question mark. So we'll see how it goes and see what it looks like.
Yeah. And then like leaving Sunday night's not so much an option for you, really, is it? I mean, because it's a little bit of a drive for you.
It's 5 hours, and so by the time with the van, everything will be 6. And leaving Sunday night's a problem because all I need is one issue, and at night, and it gets to be nothing but trouble. So that was the whole idea of leaving on Monday morning. It's just that if it got done earlier in the day, like at 4 o'clock or something like that, then I could come back and do it because they gain an hour coming back. But now with daylight savings time, pushing everything back an hour, and also it's just I just don't like to drive it, pull it in the dark.
Yeah, we've had some experiences pulling it in the dark. the blowout of 2021.
I was looking at a message here from somebody. James said that there's no sound.
No sound, huh?
Oh, he can hear. Never mind. Turn your hearing up, James. You heard that hearing aid up. That's probably the problem. So, yeah. And I was like, I was like, okay, I can hear you and you can hear me.
Yeah, but, I know. Yeah, I was just gonna say I can hear you just fine. So
yeah, but he's been playing too many guitars and running around with that stuff. So
the loud music, huh?
Yeah, exactly. It's just
concerts.
Like, the hearing aid stuff is just kind of gone. But anything exciting happened at Rhodes?
It's still busy. Like we had Friday night. We had an event, not an event. We had someone booked Friday night, and then a group it was booked overnight Saturday night, and got some activity both nights. And then of course this weekend's booked up. Just to add out there, anybody that's tuning in, the 19th there is a full overnight investigation. Public investigation here at Rhodes, and there are tickets open, and they're limited to 8, and you can go to rhodeshotel.com for tickets to that. And I think there's a few tickets that are left for Saturday, the investigation, which runs from 6 p.m. till 2 a.m. I throw that out there because it's only a few weeks away. So what about you? Got anything coming up?
We've got this coming weekend on Saturday. She's at private on Friday night, but Saturday night we've got the Tennessee Race Chasers. Chris and Brandon and Mike will be there, and I think there's like 6 tickets left for that, and it's sold out. So not many left. So if anybody's interested in that, they can hit go to our website at ashmorestates.net, and you can get tickets on that for that. But yeah, it's that's about it. We're kind of wrapping things up a little bit there at Ashmore. Other than I've still got some events coming up or investigations going through December, like the second week of December, and I've told these people, I'm like, you realize there's no heat in the building, right? And they're all like, oh yeah, we like to investigate when it's cold. I'm like, well, that's good because I can
you're gonna freeze.
It's gonna be cold. I don't care if it's 60 degrees outside. It'll probably be 30 degrees inside. But it's gonna be cold. That's no doubt about that.
Yeah, it's still going full force here too. Every weekend, I know every Saturday's booked pretty much until the end of the year. So
that's great.
It's a good thing. Yeah, it's a good thing.
Oh yeah,
I'm ready to book for next year.
So that's we've been doing that as well. So we'll we got Michael and Neil with us. Unless you got anything else, let's bring him in and we'll get things kind of rolling and rocking and rolling with that. So
sounds good.
Good evening, gentlemen.
What's going on,
hey, Michael?
Not too much. Just enjoying your intro broadcast. So I was going to say, Robin, to what you were talking about with traveling up to Grand Rapids,
right?
That it seems to me that they don't really care about you. It's the mystery machine they want to protect. They don't care if you spin off and go into the ditch as long as the mystery machine is covered and clear.
Yeah, so it'll be all banged up the inside an enclosed trailer when it goes off and rolls. So it's like, that doesn't work for me too well either.
You're like, what? You're hurt? Wait, but the mystery machine's okay, right? It's still coming.
You have a backup plan, right? We want it up here at this time.
Yeah, can't you get it fixed? Stop by the body shop and just get some parts for it. Yeah, that won't work.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
Nothing with us. I mean, you're the one that's got things happening and everything. So
yeah.
I do indeed. In fact, obviously the Las Vegas convention is only a month away now. In fact, right on a month away from today's date. You were talking about Chris and Mike's event next weekend at Ashmore. I just want to throw in there that next May, my team is going to be doing an event at Ashmore that we're greatly looking forward to. And Mike, we're definitely in the midst of planning out an event at the Rhodes Hotel. So
cool.
So not only are you guys going to be at my conventions, but you're going to be seeing me at your locations too.
Sounds good. We're definitely here and looking forward to it.
Me too. I know Ashmore has always been a phenomenal place to go and can't recommend it enough. And Robin, I hope you're going to be there in May because
I have to check that date. I think I will. I try to make most of the events that are going to be held there. I just don't remember the date offhand. But I usually try to make it all those events.
It's May 27th and 28th, I believe. And we have a special guest now, Mr. Ken Bogle, who is coming to that. He was there the first year that we were there, but he has specifically requested that you, Mr. Terry, are present.
I wasn't able to make it the last time he was there. So I'd like to try to get out there. In fact, I'm going to kind of check my calendar and see if there's anything booked right then. I'm kind of leaving myself wide open for the beginning of the year anyway, just because I've got some projects going on out there. But there's nothing on my calendar now. So I'll try to make sure I make it out there then.
Nice indeed. And then Mr. Bogle will be with us when we come to the Rhodes Hotel. Sometime next year. So obviously you have nothing this year. So I'm looking forward to it because you were talking about activity and everything, and that really doesn't happen around me. So I'm interested to see exactly what happens when I come to the Rhodes Hotel. If everything just goes away for a weekend.
There you go.
Find out. Yeah, we'll see, right?
Absolutely.
See what happens.
So
Jenny asked if I was going to Vegas, and I am not going to be in Vegas. Just there's no real reason other than people that know me know I'm about as sensitive as a rock. But for some reason, when I started looking at airlines and things like that, I felt this anxiety thing going on. So I'm like, nope, not going to Vegas. And I tried 2 or 3 different times. So it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna sit that weekend out. I got a couple of projects I'm working on at Ashmore, so I think I'll probably stick with that.
Yeah. See, you had anxiety trying to book a flight for yourself. How do you think I feel trying to book 45 celebs flights?
Well, that's just a matter of writing the check and putting the credit card through.
Yeah. That's the good thing of it. Actually, that would be easy. If all I had to do was be like, oh, that flight looks good, done, everybody would be happy. I would be a very happy camper. But unfortunately,
some are a bit tougher.
They all have to be approved by the person. So otherwise I would be Spirit Airlines like favorite customer, because everybody would be on Spirit, because they are the most uncomfortable, from what I understand, like worst airline ever, but they are so cheap.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at Frontier when I was looking at lines, and I could do round trip from St. Louis to Vegas and back, $99.
Yeah. The only problem with that is, because I have done some Frontier flights for people, they take all your money in luggage. Like for one bag, it's like $40. I mean, it's terrible. And I think that's even, like, it's another 30 or 25 or something like that if you want to carry on. Like they take all your money in luggage. So
one of those things. If you want to move up 2 seats, another $30. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the way it is now.
Yeah.
So I'm learning a lot about people's patience and what they're willing to do and not do, including my own. And yeah, it's been an interesting ride with these conventions. So, but I'm learning a little bit more each and every time, and it's honestly been a phenomenal experience. And really looking forward to obviously, Mike, seeing you out there.
Yeah.
And coming up, even though I'm not going to give like specific dates, we have signed the paperwork for Minnesota 2022. That Mike, I think I've already told you about. So shh.
Yeah, we talked a little bit. Yeah.
But that announcement should be coming later this week, early next week. So we're getting vendors put together. We're getting the first round of celebs all put together, and people should be ready for an exceptionally good time.
We can tell Robin now, right? Just kidding.
Not right now. Not right now. But Robin, I think I definitely would like to see the Mystery Machine again up in Minnesota.
I'm glad to do it. What, have you got a date set for that yet?
I do, but that's again something I'm not going to divulge right now.
You'll have to tell you later.
We'll talk after the show.
Okay.
Right now, I swear we're not live anymore.
If only that would work, because I can see the fact that it says live.
Yeah, you're familiar with it, so yeah, it's not going to work.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, but if I started kind of cutting back some with stuff that I'm doing with the Mystery Machine. It's fun, but man, it's a lot more trouble than just booking an airline flight ticket, jumping in an airplane, getting off, and going to the convention, and that's it. So Mike's been with me, Couch has been with me, when I've done those seas, and it's a matter of like unloading, getting it back on the trailer, having a blowout, going down the road, and
the blowout wasn't fun. Yeah, I was with you on the blowout. That's
see, and Michael, you're up in the area there where you've got a lot of deer and things like that. So we're going down the road at the blowout and everything, and Mike's like, man, this is horrible. This is terrible. I'm like, yeah, the only thing worse now is the deer was out in front of me. He's like, oh, yeah. He's like totally stressing out at that point.
Yeah, I was like, dude, just no. This is my nerves. I was like in the passenger seat like this. So just like, don't say anything like that. It's like, don't talk about deer jumping out in front of us after that happened.
Yeah, that's where you turn to me like, shut your pie hole, Terry.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was like the whole time. I'm like over there, like holding on to the door handles. I'm just like this. Yeah.
Yep. The easiest way to kill a deer is go 55 miles an hour with your headlights on. They'll just jump in front of your truck.
Oh yeah, they're committing suicide left and right.
Who knew deer wanted to kill themselves so much?
So you were talking about booking flights and everything for these guys. It's a lot of struggle doing that. I mean, everybody's got flights booked. They're all ready to go now.
There's a few left, but yes, almost pretty much everybody
good
has had their flight booked. And really the struggle was not so, because I have like one management company or whatever that has a set of people. I have a set of people that I deal with, like Mike directly. Then I have another manager that deals with like 70% of the other talent that's coming. And I got all of column A and pretty much all of column B all ready to go and done. But I was still waiting on flight information from like half of column C. And there's some of them like I've been waiting and asking for like 6 weeks for information so I can book flights, and it just it wasn't happening. And so and as I watch flight prices go up and up and up, so does my frustration and blood pressure because I know I look like it, sitting here in my hoodie and my banner behind me, but I'm not made of money. And so like to keep the flights as cheap as possible.
And it kind of extends it out a little bit more too when you, because it takes time. You're like, okay, here's what I've got. Is this approved? And then you have to wait and wait and wait, and finally to come back. Well, could you tweak this a little bit?
So that and I don't want to give out any names or anything. I'm not trying to speak badly of anybody. It's just obviously what goes on. But yes, that was a huge frustration for me, because you have these flights perfect, like nonstops on the airlines they all want. Price is something that I can really get behind. Send in the information, and then I have to wait like 5 days to get a response, and then they're like approved, and like those flights had already booked out, or they're now like $300 more expensive. And it's like, those are the bad days, but it's all getting done. And I'm really looking forward to, the next month, just kind of finishing up everything. Now we're moving on to all the vendors. The vendors have now like been cut off. There's no more being added in. So now it's booth assignments. It's the vendor's presentation schedule. There's still a lot to do, but it's been a fun ride to do it.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
How advanced ticket sales going?
Good. Not to give out like divulge information, but right. I'd probably say right now we're roughly around the 700 to 800 mark. Just for right now, I'm expecting obviously a lot more this month, because now that as we get closer and closer, people have been worried about COVID. Obviously, is the event even going to happen? Because of that. What about the mask mandate? Do they need vaccinated? Like everybody has all these questions that have, kept them from like jumping the line and getting their tickets now. And so now that I think we're closer, everybody has more information. And anybody, I just want to interject this. If anybody has any questions on that, they can go ahead and email me, Odyssey Events 310@gmail.com. You can direct message us on Twitter. You can direct message us on Instagram. You can direct message us on Facebook. We all, my partner Lauren and I, will respond to all of them. So nobody will get ignored. In fact, I pride myself on responding before you even finish your cup of coffee. So we, even if it's 2 a.m, I've been known to get up to go to the bathroom, see I have an email, and I will respond to that email before I go back to bed. So you will get a response from me. I think same day is going to be huge. Just normal tourists coming in and seeing that it's there. I really think that we'll probably be expecting between like 1,500 and 2,000 people throughout the weekend.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I would have hoped for even more just because it's Vegas. But again, because of COVID, and there may be some people who don't like the fact that there's still a mask mandate going on, and probably will be at the time of the convention, maybe a little bit of a deterrent for some people, which is unfortunate, but completely understandable. I do want to say, though, I talked to the MGM today. I had a meeting with them and asked about the mask mandate. And even though, like, when you're walking around, looking at stops, you do your shops and booths and stuff, you do need your mask on. But if you want to take a photo with a celeb or anything like that, you are more than welcome to take your masks off, take your photo, and then, obviously put them back on.
Or just take them and be like, guess who? Right?
That would be a horrible photo, though. just putting that out there.
I've seen some of these that they tagged with the mask on and all. It's like, I guess in a way you could talk about down the road, but at the same time, it's like, is that really so-and-so behind that mask? Because you can't really sometimes tell.
Oh, I don't know. I think you could probably, even behind the mask, you could tell it was Jason Hawes, or you could tell it was, it was Steve, or it was Chad Lindbergh, or if it was Mike. I think you could probably still tell. But yeah, they're probably wearing a hat and sunglasses and a mask, maybe not.
Yeah.
Can't miss when I take one.
Yeah.
Crutches and leg kind of gives it away, right?
I suppose, but that could be somebody else. Probably not, though, especially in front of like the Lost Limbs Foundation booth. So you could probably narrow it down to who that is.
Yeah.
Mike and I were just at a con earlier this year, and I kind of used the word con kind of tongue in cheek in a way, but yeah, they had actually advertised like 10 to 15,000 people. So I was glad to see that you're actually saying that you're 1,500 to 2,000, because I think that was probably more realistic. What they had there is probably 1,000 to 1,500, and it was just a bomb. And so it's at least you're being honest about the numbers and all that helps a bunch.
Well, I will. Yeah, I will always be honest about what is going on, and I agree with Jenny, though. Dustin's hair will definitely give him away.
Oh yeah. No doubt.
That the best in the business right there. Like, we should all aspire to have hair that good.
Let mine grow a little more first.
Yeah, me too. I don't even want to take my hat off. So I try to avoid wearing like dress shirts to work because they don't really go with the baseball hat. So it's I'm with you on that one. In fact, I think you might have more hair than me.
I don't know. There's not much there. I mean, it's actually grown out a little bit. I got to cut it tomorrow before I go this weekend.
Are you really cutting it or shaving it?
Shaving it. It's not like razor shaving, but I have like this trimmer that gets it really close.
Yeah, that's what I got as well. But yeah. So I mean, obviously, Robin, I know you're not going to be there, which is understandable, but both disappointing as well. But Mike, what are you looking forward to? Being able to do in Vegas over.
I think it's going to be a blast. Like one thing I've wanted to do. That might sound crazy to some people, but I watch Hell's Kitchen religiously every season.
Yes.
And I know he has a restaurant in Vegas.
Yes, he does.
So like one of those nights after the con would be really cool to just be able to slip away and just go grab a meal or something there. But of course, it's probably not all that cheap to do either. But I think it's just going to be a fun weekend. I think it's going to be a good time. And I honestly, the times I've been out in Vegas, I haven't really been running around much. I just saw Robin's little note there at the bottom. I'm sure I could find chicken strips somewhere, just maybe not Hell's Kitchen. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Be like, go in, maybe Gordon Ramsay's there and be like, I'll just have some chicken strips. I'm good.
He would throw you out.
Probably. Get out! It'd be one of those moments he's
McDonald's is down the road. Get out of here.
Yeah.
I think he'd have a few more adjectives. Yeah, he'd have a few more adjectives involved with that too. So.
Right. I'm trying to keep it. I'm trying to keep it family friendly. you know,
right.
for the sake of the show. Sorry, I'm reading again Jenny's comments, but
oh yeah, need to reserve your dinner time. Oh wow.
Oh, for you. So that's the problem with you and I both being Mike's, Mike.
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
Wow, they booked 2 months out. That's
2 months.
Insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Jesus. I guess I'll just stick to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Well, the horrible thing is when I went down, it was last November, I went down to the MGM to tour the facility, and it was the first time I'd ever been in Vegas. And one of the things that I obviously wanted to try, since not exactly a rail thin person, is I wanted one of the buffets. Everybody's always talked about how phenomenal the buffets are. Get down there and I'm like, hey, you know, where's a really good buffet? All the buffets are closed right now. Oh, like that's half the reason I came down here. Yeah. But I ended up walking from the MGM down to the Bellagio because I always wanted to see the fountains like live, and walk through the Bellagio and stuff. And I thought maybe they would have their buffet going. No. And it ended up eating at Bubba Gump Shrimp Company, which isn't Vegas isn't Vegas specific, because there's one here at the Mall of America, or at least there was. So yeah, didn't really get that whole Vegas experience. So I'm hoping that I get to this time. And yeah. So have you guys been to Vegas a lot?
Twice.
I think I've been there like 4 times.
And you got the buffets?
Yeah, we did a few times there. We went to some buffets and all. So
I did.
Well, I gotta tell you, and obviously, Rob, it's so hard to talk. I feel bad that I'm going to be talking about all the good stuff in Vegas, and you're not going to be there, Robin.
I'll send in pictures all weekend, but look,
as you should. In fact, I want everybody listening who's going to Vegas to just take photos all weekend long and take Robin and all of them.
Yeah.
But the VIP dinner is going to be unbelievable, because that is an actual Las Vegas style, like steak, and like there's like lobster pasta and stuff. That's gonna. I cannot wait. And then obviously there's the two bands that are playing. One of which one of my investigators is a part of. Like, they're driving all the way from Minnesota to open up for the headliner that's coming in. And I think that's going to be a special night. So I will say this. I won't give you details about where it is or what the dates are yet, because Jenny's accused me of I'm gonna slip up tonight, and I'm not. But what I would like to do for the VIP dinner, for the entertainment. So we did the lip sync battles for last year's, which I think was hilarious and fun as hell. So this year, what we're going to try to do, if I can get the people in that I would like involved in there, we're going to have a Paranormal State versus the Ghost Nation crew in a game of Paranormal Feud. So
that's cool.
Like Family Feud, but obviously paranormal. Bring paranormal questions. No, we're not bringing back the lip sync battles. I don't like to repeat myself. So every year is just going to be a little something different, a little something extra. So anyway, so that's all I'm going to say about Minnesota.
For now
anyway.
For now.
Yeah. We still have, a little bit of time, so
right.
It could change, right?
No, we're not going to do the. I'm sorry,
but that's right. Out in Vegas, you have quite a few vendors showing up and all too.
Yes, there's over 50 celebs. There's over 60 vendors. In fact, I might even be able to check that. Give me a moment.
Cue the Jeopardy music.
No. It appears we are right at about 70 vendors.
Cool.
So yeah, and there's going to be obviously people of all aspects. So we even have a tattoo artist that is coming, and I do believe that will actually be open to giving people tattoos right there on the convention floor.
Cool.
Yeah. So, and in fact, I don't know how this is still happening, but I'm actually probably not done adding talent to it. Have a couple things in the work that just kind of pop up, and so I may not even be done making Vegas even better.
Cool. Can't wait to hear some other additions get added into the mix.
Shut up, Jenny. So yeah, but I'm more than open to answering any questions anybody has about Vegas, if they have any.
Yeah, bring the questions in.
No Ryan Buell. That I'm sorry. I know I said I'm not going to talk bad about anybody. I'm really not going to talk bad about him. You will never see him at any of my conventions. I'm sorry. You just won't. Even if he wants to come for free, I don't think that maybe if he came for free. If he called me up and he was like, I'll come on my own dime, I'll even pay for a booth. All right, fine.
Tell him to bring you a check for about $10,000 so you can start paying people back.
And that's why. And
I'll tell you what I actually did. He got me for like $450, and because I was going to an event, and I sent him a message one time, and I've still got it. I keep his receipt that he screwed me on my desk just as a reminder. But he had, and we won't go into discussing Ryan a whole lot at all. But yeah, I sent him a message and said, hey, I said, why don't you have a free event, and people can pay to come into it, and you take that money and send it back to the people that didn't get their money returned. And I said, we'll have it at Ashmore Estates. It won't cost you anything. We'll do it there, but I get to control the money, and we send it back to the people that you took advantage of. And he sent me a message back that anybody can actually go, and I've got this it's out there. I've got it documented. He said, anybody can come to any of my future events, and that we're supposed to come to other events, and we won't charge them. And I said, oh, that's great. I said, didn't realize you're doing that. So I sent him another message back about 2 weeks later, said, you know what? Just send me my money. I don't want to come to your events. And it was crickets after that. So, but that's it on Ryan. But now I can't go to an event that he's going to be at, because I'm afraid that I probably wouldn't be able to afford the bail bond money that I might get involved in. So my hockey gloves would probably get dropped, and it'd be like, it's on.
Yeah. As much as it's justified, if it was one of my conventions, I probably would not smile upon that very much. So yeah. You'll have to do it in Michigan. I think Michigan would like that.
Yeah. But, oh well, enough of him. So
I agree. Wow, I must be doing a really, really good job with explaining Vegas, because like nobody has any questions whatsoever.
Give it time. You never know. Maybe some will pop up here.
Well, if Vegas has been fully discussed, let's just move on to the paranormal. It's something we all can get behind.
Yeah.
James got my back. I'm good with that. So, there'd probably be a lot of people that have my back on that situation. I'll leave it to that.
Yeah, as a paranormal investigator, I'd have your back. As a businessman, no,
right,
can't do it. But yeah, so I'm free and open to anything that you would like to discuss.
And with the paranormal stuff, I know you got the event coming up at Ashmore. So you guys have I haven't put anything out there because I haven't seen it yet. I just got to be announced on our website. But do you guys have some plans of what you're doing out there and everything so far?
Oh, at Ashmore?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a 2-day event, May 27th and 28th. It's a Friday and Saturday. And there are 8 VIP tickets available. Well, 5 of them are already gone. So there's only 3 left for the VIP. And what that is it's my team. It's Mr. Ken Boggle. Robin, if you're out there, obviously, you're more than welcome to join us, along with Sue. And so Friday night, all it is those 8 people and my team, and that's it. And then you get the bunk. We have the bunk houses, so those people already have their lodging provided with the tickets, and they also get all of Saturday. So you gave us obviously full access to the building from Friday night all the way until Sunday morning. Right. And so those VIP tickets get all of that time to investigate. And then Saturday night, there's like 10 tickets, I think, available for people who just want to investigate Saturday night. And yeah, I have pretty much every piece of equipment known to man that people are more than welcome to do. And yeah, we're going to have Ken Boggle as part of the ticket price is going to be doing like mini tarot readings for people during Saturday. So if you have something that you would like to get some clarification on or anything like that, that will be part of the VIP package too. And so yeah, it's going to be a great time. It always is. In fact, we have 2 sets of people who have come to Ashmore every year that we have been there. They even messaged me, when's the next time you're going to be back? Yeah, it's I'm really looking forward to it. It's because of COVID. We obviously didn't do it last year. But I'm really eager to get back there and see how Joe is doing and to see if maybe I have passed the test for the other spirits, that maybe they'll come and say hello or interact with me, which they never do.
In fact, actually, I put when Ken was out there a couple of years ago, I actually put that on my website recently because I found that. I was tripping over some stuff and found that, so I kind of didn't realize that was out there. So I put it on the on our AshmoreStates.net.
Oh, his YouTube walkthrough.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
I put that on their website, so it's out there.
So you stumbled across my page.
Well, actually, I forget what I was doing, and I came across. I don't know what I was looking at or anything, but I came across that and found it. So I kind of put that out there, and because Ken came through and he picked up on a lot of stuff, as he was going through the building, and which was quite interesting as well. And some stuff hasn't really been documented that he talked about. So I'm one that's very skeptical with psychic mediums. That and I know that. Like Rebecca's in there, she knows because I've talked to Rebecca before about that. Told her how I am with that, and but at the same time, some of it was stuff that I don't think he really knew about, and that he came up with. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I remember playing that for you the next year, because the year that you were actually able to attend, I played that for you, and I actually had sorry, just dropped my pen. But I had a reading with him just this past weekend, and we were talking about Ashmore, and I brought up the fact that is exactly what you had told me when you saw it for the first time, is that he had picked up on a lot of stuff that's not very well known or really known at all, unless you really like dug into the history of the place, right, or owned it like you do. So he was very happy about that. I think it also surprised him a little bit too. So yeah, he's really looking forward to getting back there as well. So you should just bring Jenny in here too, because she's just part of the broadcast apparently. But I do have Nevada State Prison. It's a fundraiser that's happening in April of next year, which I am very much looking forward to. We were kind of hired. Odyssey Events, because that's something that we do, is we're not only conventions, but it's also smaller events, and you can hire us to organize an investigation or even a private party, like a bachelorette party, something like that. If you'd rather go to an investigation instead of the bar, we can schedule that all for you. Just went to Old South Pittsburgh Hospital just last week. That was supposed to be a bachelorette party, but unfortunately that got canceled. But yeah, so Nevada State Prison, it's a fundraiser for them. But we have the Klings and Ghost Lab coming out. We have Johnny Zaffis. We have Heather Taddy. We have Sarah Lemos. They're all going to be out there investigating both nights. And you can go to OdysseyEventsLLC.com. And if you want to join us for that, you're more than welcome to get your tickets there.
Sounds like a fun time. Definitely.
I hope so. Like I have never investigated with any of those people, and I've wanted to, especially, how can you turn away John Zaffis? I mean,
yeah,
you would just love to investigate with him. I also really like Sarah and Heather. And obviously I grew up, I shouldn't really say grew up, but when I first got into the paranormal, Ghost Lab was really popular, really like the Klings, and Katie Burr is going to be there as well. So yeah, you have a lot of opportunities to investigate with some people that you might not otherwise get to do, and especially at a place like the Nevada State Prison.
Yeah, I was just with Brad and Barry just a couple weeks ago.
Yep,
up in Land Lake, Wisconsin. So yeah, they're good guys. I enjoy doing a lot of stuff with them. They've been to my house numerous times, and even though it's a 16-hour drive, they've managed to come up here a few different times. So. Yeah, it's those guys are great. They're very educational too, which is really kind of nice because they'll put on a nice educational type program.
What were you doing up at Land O'Lakes?
I had the mystery machine up there at a lodge at Land O'Lakes, Wisconsin, and just got invited to come up there by their arts council and Aaron Houdini, and so went up there. And Brad Berry were doing an investigation then a couple of nights there, and so we just kind of hung out up there for a couple of days, and then I headed back.
Interesting that they were up from Texas to do something at Land O'Lakes.
Well, they've always had a good time with Aaron Houdini. I mean, he's always done a lot of stuff with them. So Aaron was kind of like Ramrod in the paranormal show, the event that weekend. So he contacted the Clintons about coming up.
I was going to say, because isn't Land O'Lakes where Summerwind is? That supposedly like demonic burnt down mansion or whatever that is very popular.
I don't know. He didn't say anything about it. So if it is, we missed that. And I know it's up there where you can straddle Wisconsin and Michigan, and because it's like it's right on the Michigan border.
Oh yeah, pass.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to be in the 20s the week after I left. And in fact, wow. I was told it was the first time in like 12 or 13 years that it didn't snow on Halloween.
I know every Halloween people around here talk about the blizzard of 91. It's like, get over it, everybody. It was a long time ago. Yeah. But they still post photos of it every year. And like I was in Eau Claire, Wisconsin when that happened. And I remember it snowing. I don't remember a blizzard. But so to me, it's like, what's the big deal? But looking at the photos, yeah, it was pretty bad.
No thanks.
Yeah, down there in Indiana, I don't think you get I mean, I know you get snow, but probably not a lot.
April, yeah, I believe it was April this year. That was interesting because like we had like here, I think I ended up with about 14 inches, something like that. It got dumped. It was crazy.
That was weird because I mean that was the media snowmageddon, like the whole like Michigan on over to New York got hammered. And I think it completely, I don't want to say completely past Minnesota, but I think we were, like 3 inches, something like that. Some annoying amount of snowfall that just makes you have to go out and shovel your driveway. But yeah, everywhere else, it's like, thank you.
It was crazy here because like in my room back here, like I opened the door up and like snow was like, and then I have this snow blower that Robin got me, and he brought it over to me. He's like, here, let's make it easier, whenever instead of shoveling. I'm like, all right, that's cool. It's easy when I got a few inches. I just go right through it, knock it out. Man, I'm like, I had to do it in sections. I had to like work it down a little bit and then keep going a little bit further and further and further. And I was throwing snow like 10 feet in the air. And I was like, this thing's awesome. But I mean, that much snow was just ridiculous.
So I do have a question. I'd like your guys' opinion on it because it's something that Robin brought up earlier when he was talking about those people coming to Ashmore and be like, we like investigating when it's cold. So this past year, I've investigated 2 different places when it was like lower, like mid to low 30s outside. Maybe it got up to 40 or something like that. Colder than shit, inside these buildings. And there was next to no activity. And kind of being at old South Pittsburgh last week, and it was probably mid 40s, even though it was Tennessee. So, I mean, it got kind of chilly, later in the night. I'm just wondering your guys' opinions of paranormal activity when it's cold. Do you think that has any effect on activity whatsoever, or do you think it makes it harder for them?
Robin, you want to go?
Oh,
you want to go?
Somebody be quiet.
I'm gonna wait on. I didn't want
I don't know that actually if it's harder on them. I don't know. The thing I tell always everybody about the paranormal is that the only thing we know about the paranormal is we really don't know anything about the paranormal. And so I don't know if spirits sense the cold, know anything about the cold. I've had people book the place basically in the winter and tell me that that's when they've had the most activity is in the cold. So in fact, I think Dakota Layden, the first time he came to Ashmore, was in the winter. I think that's when I forget the date exactly. I have to look back it up. But Dakota came there with his group. I think it was the winter months that he came out, and they just investigated the cold. And if you notice on TV shows, most of them always do the shows a lot of times in the winter months. Because I don't think it's because of spirits, but I think it's because there's less involvement from the public. In the middle of winter, because they don't wander around and see, hey, there's ghost hunters out there, this location or something. So they stop in to see them. But if it's 20 degrees outside, that's probably not going to happen as much. But I think that a lot of times in the winter, it may be that people or the spirits in a location are starved for attention because nobody does any investigations during the winter months. So I think early spring or even during the winter months, I think you'll see more attention from intelligent spirits because they're like, nobody's coming around. It's cold. It's like, hey, there's somebody here. All right, let's go and talk to them. And so they intermingle a little bit more with them then. But I'm not really sure if it makes a difference. It doesn't seem to be anyway.
Yeah, I mean, on my end, I can say from the times that I was doing the investigations at Waverly, there was a lot of activity. I mean, in the cold months, there was times that we would go in the building and if you've been there, there's these little small closets in a lot of the rooms and the cold wind would come through there. We get all kinds of activity a lot often, but there was times it was so cold, to knock the air off of it. We'd get in the closets and just be standing in the closets like this just to block off air for a little bit because it's so cold. But a lot of activity though. When I was there, I don't know if I would say more, but yeah, it was really active. A lot of times when I was there, in the cold months like that, because of course, everything shuts down, but we would go up there and wander around anyway.
Don was out there in October. It was cold. Maybe he's had a little insight if they had anything happening out there when they were out there when it was cold.
So I guess what you're telling me is that it's my fault that activity didn't happen either of these places. So it's cold. Is it really worth it? Nah. I don't need to associate myself with that guy. So, okay, that's fine. I can take my lick in here. I was just curious because I never really thought of it, as whether hot, cold, the weather, beyond lightning and stuff like that, being in the air would really affect activity. But then going to these really cold locations where it was freezing in the building and really not getting anything except, maybe a periscope hit or something like that. If maybe that was a cause for maybe it was just more difficult for them. But nope, just me. Thanks for clearing that up.
Another thing cool, what doing the, in the cold weather, say Ashmore, for instance, and stuff, there's probably not as much traffic outside, you're not hearing as many noises that are coming from outside, birds and, different bugs or whatever. It's not as bad. So it's probably a little bit helpful, with contamination for, quite a few things.
Well, I think it also, has to be taken into account the people investigating. You know, do they look for natural explanations? You know, did a clump of snow fall off the roof and hit the ground and all of a sudden they have footsteps? You know, that sort of thing. And
which TV show were you watching when that happened?
I actually really do not watch paranormal television. I can't stand it. I think that, I mean, I will watch the Ghost Nation boys and now the Ghost Hunters. You know, now they're back to being the Ghost Hunters. I did watch Grant's show when it was on for those 2 seasons. I consider Brian and Rochelle really good friends of mine. But yeah, people are doing things that I just can't get behind. And I guess I just have gotten to the point where I don't want to watch it. It just makes me so angry knowing that they're doing all of this stuff they really don't have to do. And I know that they're doing it because that's what brings in the ratings. Doesn't matter if it's right or not. You know, it doesn't matter if it's respectful to the spirits of the location. It's got to be done because they have to bring in the ratings. Otherwise their show gets canceled. And I do think that there are some good people out there who don't necessarily do that. Like I really like Expedition X, but they don't really do like investigations in homes and stuff like that. So it's kind of a different category. But yeah, so I'll get off my soapbox, my high horse here. And yeah, so I try to avoid paranormal television.
I always tell everybody that that's for entertainment purposes, and you have to treat it like that.
Well, right. I mean, after quite a while, because I almost consider the term ghost hunters like more of a derogatory term. Like you're going to insult me if you call me a ghost hunter. I'm a paranormal investigator. That's what I do. I do not hunt ghosts, like period. I try to communicate with them, sure. And when it got to like Ghost Adventures and even Destination Fear and even like Haunted Towns and Ghost Asylum and all these other shows, I actually started calling them paranormal entertainers because that's exactly what they were there to do. They weren't really doing anything to help anybody anymore. Not even the ghost hunters. They stopped doing homes. It was all Air Force bases and mansions and haunted asylums, and that really disappointed me. But yeah, so I just started calling everybody paranormal entertainers.
Yeah, I think a lot of them probably quit doing the private residences because it doesn't draw a big fan base like some of the pay-to-play type places will, where people can go to that. They want to go to that place where those guys have been. And I mean, frankly, that's what I watched most of the shows for. Was I wanted to see where they were going, watch the history of it and everything, and then I pretty much like turned it off.
I actually before I just stopped watching it altogether. I had like 9 episodes and it was probably like season 8 or something like that of Ghost Adventures. And I was like, okay, here's what we're going to do. Since I have to catch up on this a little bit, see what they're doing, make sure they're not doing anything dumb. I'm like, here's what I'll do. I will watch it until Zach does something stupid or disrespectful, and then I will shut it off. I swear to you, this is 100% real. 4 episodes in a row, like right at the 20 to 22 minute mark, it got shut off every time. Because that was right when he finished his history and they started doing something stupid. And it's almost like they have that programmed in. like, all right, for the first 20 minutes, it's the history, that's the tour. Then we're going to start screaming for a little bit. And like, that's just their way that they do every episode. And after, I think like 4 episodes, I never watched another one and I haven't watched it since.
Yeah, it's been a while for me. I haven't seen anything for a long time.
Yeah.
So you said you got a couple of people or maybe some additional entertainment coming in or some different celebrities coming to Vegas. Any chance like maybe like Nick and Katrina are coming out that way?
No. I will say this though. I'm leaning on Heather, who is Katrina's best friend, to get her to agree to come to Minnesota next year. Katrina, she knows that the offer is on the table for Vegas. I talked to her way back in like March. about coming. And I think just because of COVID, like Michelle Belanger has just kind of scratched 2021. We'll start again in 2022. And so yeah, unfortunately, no. And surprisingly, Nick and really none of the Ghost Adventure people have even reached out to be a part of it, which is really surprising me because I cannot imagine that a convention, paranormal convention this size, can happen in Vegas and Zach not wanting to even be a part of it. That really shocked me. Not that he would have been a part of it, because you know how I feel about that. But to at least want to be a part of it, I guess I could say that really kind of surprised me. But unfortunately, no. Nick and Katrina not for Vegas, but hopefully at least Katrina for Minnesota.
That'd be good. Yeah, I've kind of been emailing Katrina quite a bit on stuff about doing something at Ashmore with her and Heather. And she told me she wasn't doing anything this year whatsoever. Yeah. So I can understand her not being there.
Yeah. But from what I understand, she is starting to look into 2022. So I would continue asking her, but yeah, I'm trying to take the cheap way in and go through her friend who has far more pull than I do with her. And, trying to get her to come out. And I'm thinking that since it's way later, I almost slipped up. It's way later in the year for 2022.
When did you say that was?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Anywhere from like May to December. It's somewhere in that time frame. I'm hoping that we'll be able to work something out, because one, I would love to meet her. I've been a fan of hers for a long time. I really respect how she does certain things, and that's just a personal goal of mine. I really would like to meet her.
Yeah, she's been wonderful every time we talk to her. We got to hang out with her in Minnesota or in Michigan a few years back.
Yep. Yeah, she was right by us, sitting right by us there one of the weekends. Yeah, it's great.
Well, before we get wrapped up here for the night, anybody else have any questions for Michael about what's going on at Vegas or what he's doing, or Minnesota, next year when he has it in the whatever month it's going to be in?
He did narrow it down.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I did. I narrowed it down to the last 8 months.
Did.
So
that means Vegas isn't going to happen now, probably in December next year then.
Vegas? Well,
yeah. You could have Minnesota and Vegas at the same time. I mean,
I could. They're two completely different markets, but yeah, it would be hard to split the talent.
A little snowy in December, I think, up Minnesota too. So
yeah, it is. So yeah, I mean, you can narrow it down, or you could just wait for 3 days or 4 days until I finally get to announce it.
There you go.
But for anybody, because there's a bunch of people here that are vendors at Vegas, and if anybody wants to become a vendor at Minnesota for next year, and you'll be privy to when it is beforehand.
Jenny.
It's all right. That just means that she's sponsoring something she doesn't even know what it is. So if anybody wants to become a vendor, I do have pre-order right now. You can just send me an email at any of the social media places or odysseyevents310@gmail.com. And I can send you an invoice. You'll save some money on your vendor booth, and you'll be right there when we announce as one of our vendors. And you won't have to worry about it for a certain amount of time into next year.
There you go.
Between May and December.
Technically,
so
July could be. That's between that too. I was gonna say, if you want to take Robin's logic of me not doing one at the same time, you could shrink that to May to November. Whoops, sorry, hit my microphone.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
he's narrowing it down even more.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
that's all right. Robin will get that information as soon as we're done here. So.
Yeah, I kind of keep that stuff quiet. That's I got contacted by Dakota's group. He was supposed to come to Ashmore this year, and they were going to investigate out there with the Destination Fear. And the producer contacted me. We had dates all set up and everything. Then she contacted me back and said, "Sorry, but they just got green lighted for Ireland, so they're going to Ireland." I'm like, "Hey, I don't blame them whatsoever. I go to Ireland too instead of Ashmore."
I would go to Ireland too. Sorry.
So I when Dakota tossed it out there, said, "You guys won't even believe where we're going to go for the Destination Fear episodes this year." And I was like, "Don't do it, don't do it." I mean, I'm like, Ireland? It's like I wanted to type it as like maybe like Ireland, but I didn't do it. I kept it quiet, So I didn't want to spoil it for them or anything until they announced it. But yeah, I knew they were going to Ireland a long time ago.
Yeah, I was trying to get a hold of them for something, and I was told, that the reason why you haven't heard back is because they're in Ireland. And I'm like, curses! So both that they got to go and I didn't, and that I had to wait for them to return.
Yep, there you
so
go.
it was like double frustration for me.
Oh well, that happens. I've been to Ireland once. That was enough. I'm done with Ireland now. It's been a few years back.
Well, with the last name O'Neill, I should probably find my way to Ireland.
Yeah. That's kind of the way I was too when I went over there. It was a fun trip, but this was my ex though, so it wasn't as much fun as it probably would be now. But,
there's actually a town in Ireland called O'Neill, so I've been joking that I'm going to show up there and try to declare myself mayor, and we'll see how that goes.
Well, before we get out of here, and Mike hasn't asked you yet, and he's going to slip up if we don't, so I better remind him to ask you his question.
Yeah, I know. I kind of slipped off because, we were so busy talking tonight. I always ask everybody if you could choose any location in the world that you could go to investigate.
Island of the Dolls.
Man, I didn't get it out. And he's like, that's a good one.
I want to go to Island of the Dolls. I would love to do Island of the Dolls.
Yeah.
I can't even put into words how much I want to go to the Island of the Dolls.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like that. Yeah. Sounds pretty excited about it. So that'll be you have to put a trip together over there, and who knows, maybe set up an investigation and head over there and see what you can do.
Yeah, I think that's one of those places where I would have to really schmooze up to Jason Hawes or Josh Gates and be like, who can I contact to get in really good with this? Because I want to go. I don't think there'd be any way that I would ever get to do it otherwise. I don't think they have a website where you can just be like, if you would like to investigate, click here. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think there is. I don't.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can always check it out and see.
That is true. Yeah. That is true. But that is my answer to your question.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I like that. Good.
Well, Michael, thanks for joining us tonight, and
thanks.
Good luck in Vegas, and we'll looking forward to seeing those photos untagged. And
you're going to be tagged everyone. I'm going to put up a banner that says people to tag in every post.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to roll my eyes at it. So.
You got his Twitter handle right there, so
there you go.
Yeah,
that's we need to get rid of those. We'll just take those off there.
It's too late.
Yeah,
really.
Already screenshotted, sir.
So, once again, appreciate you coming on tonight.
Yeah,
thank you very much, guys. Been a pleasure.
Minnesota all next year, and I know Mike's looking forward to Vegas. So you guys have a good time up there, I'm sure.
Yep, I'll see you in a month.
So, thank you, sir. Have a good night.
You as well.
Night.
So, that's fun having Michael on the night. And,
good time.
And I feel he may stay there in the chat for a minute or two anyway, and then we can catch up with him afterwards. But so so we'll get out of here, and I gotta get finished packing and all for Thursday. So appreciate everybody listening tonight. So,
thanks guys for tuning in. I'll try to go back through the messages and see what we missed. We were talking about that before. I'm going to try to go through and get into the messages and if there's anything that kind of slipped through the cracks to respond to whatever and all that good stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, they won't let us. We can't comment on each individual comment that comes through without commenting to all of them or something. So it's tough to do that. But thanks for everybody coming in and joining us tonight, and we appreciate it. In fact, next week, just so you'll know, next week's going to be a fun one too, because we're going to have Sean Porter from Ghost Stop and Toys. So, Michael, if you've got everything you ever wanted, maybe he's got that one new one out there that you don't have yet. So, looking forward to Sean coming on next week, and
a good time.
Bringing the toys from Ghost Stop. So, yep, that'll be a good one. But thanks much for everybody coming on tonight. Appreciate it. And we'll be in here next Tuesday night.
Yep. See you guys. Thanks.
All right. Thanks much. Night.
My name is Mike, and I'm the founder of the Lost Limbs Foundation. The Lost Limbs Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that provides assistance to amputee children in need of prosthetics. I started the charity after my own struggles after my leg being amputated just above the knee. Prosthetics cost thousands of dollars, and the average lifespan is 5 to 7 years on a prosthetic. Kids are constantly growing, so they'll go through multiple prosthetics throughout their life. This is the prosthetic leg that I use, and the cost was about $70,000. The Rhodes Hotel is in Atlanta, Indiana, and is owned and operated by the Lost Limbs Foundation. We are currently doing photo shoots, ghost hunts, and special events to help raise money for the charity. For more information, you can go to lostlimbsfoundation.org. With your help, we can help these kids one step at a time.